Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today, we're going to talk about fitting self-care into a busy life and the holiday season or the summer, depending on when you're listening to this. Self-care can be super challenging at any stage of life or any day, but it's even more so when life is happening and routines are all over the place. And I know I struggle myself when routines are broken, like in the summer or over the holiday season. So get cozy and let's dive into how can you fit self-care into your busy life. So last week I shared about all the different areas. There's 8 branches of self-care to really take care of yourself in balance, because there's different areas in your life that need to be taken care of to really help you feel balanced and like yourself. So we did that last week. If you didn't listen to that after this episode, I definitely recommend you going back and checking it out. I also mentioned that I have a self-care 101 free guide and activity sheet that is available on my website at jodymisiak.com. So if you didn't grab that, I encourage you to get that because it will help you really fill in the gaps. And this way you don't have to take notes. You can just listen and it's all there for you later. So let's get back to this busy life of yours. I'm going to try and keep this kind of short and sweet because if it's too long, then I'm already taking away your time. So busy life. We all got them, right? So the first thing, start saying no to things that don't light you up and start saying yes to you and your awesomeness. So like I mentioned last week, 8 different branches of a tree. So we've got, I'm going to just quickly go over it again, just in case you didn't listen. And then this way it doesn't feel so lost. So, and if you have been, I don't want to spend too much time on them. So the 8 areas is emotional, mental, physical, pleasure, spiritual, sensory, social, and support. So it's having these different areas and it's just kind of playing with them and seeing what you need right now in your life, because we all have different needs and wants. So it's really figuring out what you need. And now we're taking it a step further to figure out what brings you joy. How are you saying yes to you? Well, it's hard to say yes to you if you don't know what you want to say yes to. So it's really getting clear on the things you want to start saying no to make room for the things you want to say yes to. So it depends on your personality and things like that. Sometimes, you focus on the things that you want to stop saying yes to. So you want to start saying no to, maybe going out too late in the night, or start saying no to different events that just don't fill you up anymore. And that makes room for the yeses. Or you can really focus on what are the things I want to say yes to? And then kind of slowly eliminate the other things. So it really depends on which way you want to go. I really encourage you to make a list in whichever direction you want to look at first. Sometimes we want to look at the yeses and sometimes we want to look at the nos. But it's really starting to say no to the things that don't light you up to make room for the yeses. And then at the same time, it's whatever your mind needs to do to get there. But what I would do is grab a piece of paper and draw a line down the center from top to bottom and write yes, exclamation point, and then no on the other column. You can write down the things that you want to say yes to. And then on the other column, write down the things you want to start saying no to. Things that just don't bring you joy. And then the really big thing is that you can look at what you do in a day, in a week, in a month. And you can really write down those things on a different piece of paper or on the back of that paper. What do you do all that month? And then go back to your yes column. Circle the things that you're doing in your day, week, month that is in your yes column. Then underline the things that are on your no list or you want to say no to, and just see how many there are. Now, this isn't about judgment or feeling crappy about it. It's just being aware of what is on your no list and what's on your yes list. And again, the first step is really getting clear on what do you want to start saying yes to and what do you want to start saying no to. And that might take a little bit of time itself, but maybe you already know. And you can keep adding to these lists. But then the next step is, what are you saying yes to in your day to day, month to month, that is on your yes list? And what are you saying, what are you doing that's on your no list right now? And you want to kind of slowly bring it towards the side of the yeses. Like count them out. How many yeses do you have in your day, week, month, on your month to month? And how many no items do you have? You can just put a tally. And then your goal is to slowly move your list or your numbers closer to having more yeses. And I hope that makes sense. So it's slowly just being aware. First is being aware of where are you putting your energy out. So another thing, so now that we've established like the no's and the yeses, it's also really just looking at your time. If you need to find more time in your day, it's about looking at like how much time you spend on social media, checking emails. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And hopefully at least 8 of them are for sleep. It's really about like being mindful of those lost hours. Like they can really happen. Scrolling the news or just so many different things. Oh my gosh, I can lose time too. I'm like, what was I doing? Looking for something to watch. There goes an hour. Didn't watch anything. Just try to find something. It's just being really mindful, the little times, the little gaps in our schedule that can be shifted. Like I said, social media, checking emails. Maybe only check your emails so many parts in a day. Like have a schedule for checking them if that works better for you. But it's getting clear on your no's and your yeses. And then really just looking at your calendar in general and figuring out where else can you kind of fix the leaks in your time. There's so many leaks in our days, or there can be. So just being mindful of those and then slowly fixing them. Or just putting boundaries on social media, email checking, TV time, things like that. So then once you find some openings in your day, week, and month, schedule it in. Schedule. It is so important to put down what you're going to do. It doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be a detailed plan. But having an idea. So like, for example, me time, you just put it in your calendar. And maybe it's a few different ideas that you might want to do at that time. Morning routines, like that's what I do. I bookend my days. I mentioned this before, where I do a lot of my me time in the morning and in the evenings. I really bookend my days. But scheduling it in is so important. So put it in your calendar just like you would a doctor's appointment or any other appointment you wouldn't miss. Make it non-negotiable. And when you do that, then you can start showing up for yourself in big, beautiful ways. Another thing to do is make a self-care list. So write down a few things you'd love to do in each category. Like I mentioned earlier, the 8 categories, the branches of at least 3 things under each. And then this way, when life gets busy, life gets crazy and all over the place, you have this list to come back to. So we have it where it's saying yes to more things that bring you joy and start saying no to things that don't. And remember, don't say yes because you feel you have to. Say yes to the things you want to. That's super important. So we say yes and no to the things. Get a little yes, no kind of thing going on. Look at your day. Your 24 hours. How much time do you spend on social media, checking emails? Again, this is not about judgment or beating yourself up. It's just becoming aware of where the leaks are in your life. Then once you allow some more time into your world, you schedule it in. And then after, you're ready for me time, make a self-care list. Things that you can do to help you fill your cup up. Now, in a perfect world, this would work. Everything would just go ahead and like, woohoo, I got this beautiful activity sheet. I got the list. I'm good. I've scheduled it in. Oh my goodness, I'm doing this. But then life happens. Our schedules, our routines are all over the place. As this episode airs, it's December. It's the holiday season. We have events here and events there and all over the place. I also feel this way in the summertime when the kids are home for the 2 months and I'm, running them to different things, hanging with friends, all that stuff. And I don't have the same kind of schedule I do when they're going to school in the morning and coming home in the afternoon. Like, I don't have that kind of routine. So I really have to be mindful. So when our life gets super busy or our schedule is way different, what do we do? Because this perfect list would work amazingly if life just worked on a beautiful routine of I get up, I do this, I do this, I do this. But life doesn't always happen this way. In fact, a lot of the time it doesn't. So what do we do? The big one is doing this work, if at all possible, first. Writing down the list, doing all that if you can, because then it's a foundation. And then it's getting support. So for me, what I've learned is having a conversation with my husband, my children, the people I live with. So it's having a conversation with the people I live with. So that's my husband and my kids. And being like, okay, this is what I'm going to need. Having a plan, having a conversation. So first it's having that plan and then sharing it with people. But having the support of others around you is very important, especially if you're living with them. Because they have their own thing, they have their own ideas, their own agendas. So it's really just having them understand where you're at and what you need. And then hopefully they can share the same about them. So it's getting the support behind your self-care. Having a plan, what to do. And then also with support, you have accountability. So for me, my husband usually can tell when I need some me time and he'll like check in with me too, or I'll check in with him, like just different things. I'll be like, I go to him, I'm like, I need some me time. Can you please take the kids? Different things like that where I'm like, I need some time. But how do I do that? I started checking in with myself. So for example, over the winter break, my kids are home for 2 weeks. And I love spending time with them. I love being with them. I love watching movies. I love hanging out. I get so engrossed in the process of the holidays and being with my kiddos and everything that I sometimes actually forget about me. So it's really important to do check-ins. And like I mentioned before, I like bookending my day. So it's really important for me to keep a routine still, even though the kids are home. Now, I can do this now because they're old enough to feed themselves and to take care of themselves on a level. And they also know that if I'm doing my meditation or yoga practice and things like that, they can go talk to my husband. So it's having those conversations with them. Be like, look, if I'm busy right now, can you go to your dad if you need help? Like things like that. And I have that availability to me because my husband works from home. I take time off when my kids are home and things like that. So I have that. But it's taken me years to really figure out it's important to check in. So like I said, bookending my morning and night. So at least I have those moments where I'm quieting my mind. Now, the thing is, the challenge I have is when my kids are home, is that I just want to spend time with them. And I sometimes want to skip my morning routine. So it's reminding myself, I need to take care of me first so I can be the best parent and at my best and in the best place to be with my kiddos. And then this way, the more I take care of me, the less I'll have to do it later. And by that, I mean, if I skip my morning routine, it's Monday. Oh, I'll just skip it. Tuesday comes. I skipped it Monday. I'll just wait till Wednesday. And eventually I just skip it forever, like those 2 weeks. And then they go back to school and I'm drained. Or maybe in the middle, I just felt so tired and then I didn't spend as much time with them because I was tired. So like I said, check-ins are so, so important. And then keeping certain parts of your routine that really help you connect to yourself so you can check in with yourself. And I hope that makes sense, that it's so important to do little check-ins. Have your accountability partner check in with you. It could be a friend, your husband, a partner, your child. If you have older children or even younger ones, they'd be like, hey, mom, how you doing today? Are you taking care of you today? What do you need? And things like that. Like you can have other people in your life check in and you can do the same for others. So it's just being really, mindful of how you're showing up and what do you need? You put your needs off for a day. Okay, it won't be too much. You put it off again for another day. It starts to feel a little bit. And then, a week out, I can tell you from personal experience, it's a hot mess. And I'm not at my best. So it's really just doing those little check-ins. Setting boundaries with yourself and with others in your life is also very important in your busy life. Like I said, I mentioned to my kids that I'm like, okay, in the morning, I'm going to be doing my yoga practice. They know that if I'm upstairs, I'm in my yoga practice and I'll come down when I'm done. And that, my husband's downstairs working if they need him or need anything that they can't do themselves. But again, if you have young kids, like it's finding a different balance. Like I mentioned in the last episode, we all have different needs and wants at different parts of our life and in general because we're all unique. So what works for me might not work for you. So if you have young kids, your support system might look different. It might be including grandparents, aunties, uncles, other friends, and like doing a handoff. Like, I'll take your kid for, half a day or whatever it is that you can, vice versa. Like it's working out whatever works for you, but it's getting support in whatever area you need and what's right for you. Thankfully, we lived around family when our kids were younger and I could lean on family support. But now we had to change because family are all back in Ontario. So it's really just reshifting and finding a different support system. Okay, so before we go, I want you to schedule in time that you're going to do this. Get out your calendar, either your phone, your calendar, whatever it is you write down things, sticky notes, whatever works for you. Schedule some time in to do this, to go get the free guide, an activity sheet. Now, I actually didn't do the whole no yes list. You can do that quite easily on your own. Get a piece of paper and say yes and say no on the other side and do that. You can use the back of the printout if you want. Do the work now. Before things get really busy, schedule in time for you to do this. Make a plan. Share your plan. Get the support now before you get into the busyness and then feel like you're drowning and no one's throwing you a life preserver. So do the things now before life goes all over the place. I hope this helps. So remember, say yes to more things that bring you joy and no to the things that don't. Plug those leaks. Find where you're wasting time in a loving way. Don't forget love. In a loving way, where you I waste time too. So I say this with so much love. I can scroll too. I have a phone and I can lose some time. So just be mindful of your leaks and then start plugging them up. Fix them. Then when you have more space and time in your day, schedule it in schedule me time in. And then don't forget to make a self-care list. So then this way, you know what you want. And I talked more about this in the last episode where it's really about what you need and want because I could share a list with you. And I shared ideas in last episode, but you really need to figure out what you need. Play around with it. Figure it out. What brings you joy? What makes you feel good in all 8 areas of self-care? So make that list. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Don't forget to schedule this time in for you to take time for your self-care list and everything. You will thank yourself for it later. I promise you this. And before I go, I almost forgot. If you want more support, I am actually doing a live event. It's the first live event I've done in a while. It's at the end of December. You can go and check it out at my website. And it's setting your intentions for 2026. So we will let go of the stuff that we want to leave behind in 2025 and set the intention for your 2026. It's 2 hours of really focused awesomeness. So if that's what you need, or you feel called to connect with other people, please join. And it will be recorded, of course. So if you can't make it live or you want to have a recording of it so you can rewatch it, it will be recorded. So go check it out on my website at jodymisiak.com. And I look forward to connecting to you even more. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.